Alright everyone, I'm making a quick video just to kind of show you with this setup of Ableton, if you're going to run an external sound card with multiple outs, what the possibility is, or if you're going to run this with an external sound card like the sound card I'm using, which is actually a digital mixer like the X-Air 18 that has multiple outs, but also if you're mixing stuff on your own using like the X-Air 18. And the X-Air 18, this is a USB cord, and the X-Air 18 comes around and it plugs into the USB thing. So this little digital mixer, actually, it's a 18 channel digital mixer that is also a USB sound card, and it's made by Behringer actually, and I don't have any affiliation with them, but they say these are Behringer design. These are Midas design preamps. If you don't know what Midas is, you gotta look it up. They're amazing, amazing mixing boards, and they're really expensive. But now here's the thing: I actually know the guys over at Behringer, and they've explained it to me. These aren't just Midas design preamps in here. These are actually Midas preamps, and if you have like the X32 mixer, which has the same preamps, but you can actually go and download Midas's firmware and install it in the X32, and you actually have a Midas mixing board, exact same mixing board. But anyhow, I regress. So this is the X-Air 18. It's got 18 ins. It's got 6 auxiliary outs. So if I wanted to send this to a front of house sound guy, I could actually send like the drums, or let's say like the bass guitar coming out 1, the keyboards coming out 2, the backup vocals coming out 3, percussion coming out 4, so on and so forth. And actually the front of house guy could have his own mix to mix the band with. Now, or if you're doing it like with how we play, we usually just give the front of house guy 2 outs, and then we have our own sound guy who runs around with a tablet and mixes our show for us, because this thing is wireless and it has its own wireless here. And then the beautiful thing about that is actually I can send each individual track to a channel on the X-Air, and without having to plug anything in, it'll just be a blank channel, and then you can mix it from here. So that's what we're going to do right here. So I'm going to go over and switch to my screen capture. Alright, so I'm holding the camera and I got screen capture going at the same time. So on your Ableton, after you open it up, if you're to run this kind of sound card or just a multiple out sound card, you'd go to Live up at the top left, and you click on Preferences, go over to the Audio tab over here, which is here, and I would select, so I can see I have the X18. I'd select that for my in and out. I'd go over to Outputs, and you'd see these might be unselected. You want to select them all, and you can see I have all 17 outputs here. Now if I was actually going to send this to a front of house, I'd only actually have 6 because I'd be using my auxiliaries. But since I'm just going to my own mixing board, I have 17 outputs, and I click save on that and go over here. And so now if I'm playing this right now, I don't have anything routed to anywhere. And what I do though when I'm playing with our X-Air 18 is I send my basically stereo signal to 17 and 18 to the X-Air 18. So I send that to, not 17, 18, I'm sorry, I send it to 15 and 16. 15 and 16, and then I'm going to go over to my app. So if I press play right now, you're not going to hear anything because I have the volumes all turned down on my app, and also I don't have the actual app set up yet to retrieve audio from this to the X-Air. So what I do is basically I'll come over here to the app, and you can do this on the app, or you can do this on a desktop version. And I would go over to channel. See, I'd click on the app. I'd go over here to 19 to 16, and then right here on where it says 15 and 16, I'd click here, and then what I want to do is I want to link 15 and 16 together. So I'm going to click on the link, and it's going to ask me, do you want to link 15 and 16? I'm going to say yes. So now both channels are basically stereo links. So if I go back over here, I'll see that they're panned left and right. And now what I want to do is I want to tell this channel to receive audio from the USB cable. So I'm going to go back into there, and I'm going to click over here on I can't remember which tab. It's been a while. USB. I'm going to activate USB. So now I got signal coming in from USB, and I'm going to see if my mains are on. And so I'm going to alright, so there's right and left, and go back over here. Now I should start hearing some audio, I would think. There we go. So yeah, so now turn that down. So now my audio is coming out 15 and 16, and it's in stereo. So now, if I want, kill this over here. And now if I want, I have basically the full stereo track going out 15 and 16. So now here comes the cool part. So say if I don't want the full stereo track, I want to have my mixing range from the X-Air, so my sound guy walking around the iPad can mix the bass and keyboard. So I can actually come over here, and on the output for bass, I'll go over here and put external out, and I want that to come out of channel, let's say I want bass to come out of let's make it 14. So I'm going to have the bass coming out of channel 14, and I'm going to have percussion. I'm going to switch that to external out. I'm going to have that come out of channel I'm going to have that coming out of channel 13. So put that on 13, and I'm going to take drums, and I want that to come out of channel 12. And I messed up. I should have had keyboards come out of channel student app, but I'm going to have that come out of channel 11. Horns I'm going to leave alone. I'll put the backup vocals out of channel 10. So there we go. Or you can also do stereo channels too. If it's a stereo item, you can basically link those together and make it stereo and do it that way too. But I'm not going to do that for just showing. So now if I click on this, you're not going to hear as much. And I have to go back over here, and for each of these channels that I sent stuff to, I have to go over here and click on that and configure USB, and then I can go back this way. I have 14, 13 I need USB, back again, 12, and 11, and 10. So now they're all getting receiving their audio from USB. So now if I come back over here and press play, so you're hearing the parts that I didn't send here, which is lead vocals and horns, and you can see on 11 I got keyboard. Nothing else has came in on there on that song yet. Let's say let me get to some of their songs. It's actually, here we go. So here we go. So now, okay, the sound guy can mix his front of house. I didn't go in here and say, like the drums, you know, I want to change the EQ on the drums. I can go in now and I can go through and add whatever I want. I'm going to make that a little more queued up. And then I want to actually maybe go back over here and add some reverb on it. That's delay. So now the sound guy has complete control over every instrument, Bass. So So anyhow, that's one of the that's another cool feature that you can have while using multiple out sound card, especially if you have a digital mixer. Because even if you're running the digital mixer stereo front of house to a sound guy you don't even know, you can actually have another little roadie guy just running your backing tracks volumes. So you can be like, okay, here's our full house backing tracks, and you can have a little roadie guy, or even your keyboardist can walk off stage once in a while, just grab the iPad, make sure everything sounds good, comes back on with the iPad, put it back on there. You're still sending the stereo signal to the front of the house, but you just dialed in the rest of your backing track mixes using something like the X-Air. All right, so hopefully that helps you guys out.